Welcome into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. My name is Bruce Heller,
And my name's Brett Parnell.
and we are back with another new episode.
We sure are. It's fully off-season mode.
It is, and we are doing a countdown today. We each have a list of our top 5 underrated seasons with one or two honorable mentions. And this
That
will
we
be a
do.
fun episode.
Yeah, should be a really fun episode. Definitely a topic I know lots of other people have talked about, but we realized it's one we've never touched yet.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad I have my list in front of me. Bruce, do you want me to start or do you want to start?
You can start. What's your number 5?
I'm going to go with number 5 to one that I think will be a controversial addition here because I think I rate this season much higher than almost everybody in this fan base. So I'm going to give number 5 underrated season to Survivor Redemption Island.
Interesting.
This is, obviously, I think if you was Redemption Island great? No. But in my mind, is it a bottom 10 season? No. If you're someone who, like me, is a big Boston Rob fan, you probably like it. If you are not a Boston Rob fan, you're going to hate the season because it's all Boston Rob, honorable mention to Andrea, and a bunch of people who had no business being on reality television. Casting is the weak point of Redemption Island. But in contrast, gameplay is so strong on the part of Rob.
I love Rob. I like Andrea. Like you said, it's just not a strong cast around them. Player-wise.
Yeah.
If you want to go character-wise, though.
Yeah, that's it.
Our second place finisher that you didn't mention is quite a memorable TV character.
He sure is, in Philip. And
he somehow got a jury vote, by the way.
Yeah. And when you think of it, there's others in there too. Ashley Underwood is a memorable player for people who watch the season. Grant is a memorable player. Natalie's a memorable player.
Yeah.
Krista and Stephanie are memorable players in being the two younger girls who worked with Russell and thought they'd pull off the same strategy as Natalie and Parvati and Danielle before them, only to find out that no one on Zapatero wanted Russell on the beach for one more minute than they had to. But that makes it memorable, is that a tribe threw a challenge to get Russell Hantz out of Samoa.
Shout out Stephanie Valencia for on Zapatera also. She's kind of a fun character we don't get to see much of. Because she made the mistake of aligning with Russell, and so when he was gone, she made noise and the tribe sent her home next. But Zapatera is one of my most annoying tribes, I think.
Yeah, I don't blame you. There was definitely some oddball players on that tribe too.
I mean, Ralph is fun. May he rest in peace. But also,
I was just going to say, I thought Ralph was not living anymore. I was hoping he was because I just would have wanted an interview to figure out where that vote came from. But
I was going to say, if Ralph were still with us, I just want to ask him one question. Were you just trying to not vote for Rob? Like, that's what that was.
I'm going to tell you what I've heard, and I may be wrong in this. But I've heard that he was trying to make sure Natalie was third and not second.
Why?
I think the two of them couldn't stand each other on the merge beach.
Okay. Well, that also, I could see that.
Ralph was a very hard-working player in this game. And I think he was very critical of, Natalie just using it as a tropical beach vacation.
Man, get him on a tribe with Morgan, with what she was doing on the camp, and see what happens.
Yeah.
No, I always looked at I never have looked at that jury vote and thought, hey, Ralph thought Philip was the most deserving.
Yeah, no.
I looked at that because the Zapateras could not stand Rob because there was nothing they could do to defeat just him steamrolling them because he was better than all of them and he had numbers. I always looked at that Philip vote as him refusing to vote for Rob, but not wanting Natalie to tie for second is also possible.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I've heard, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so what do you have as number 5?
Yeah. I have a season that it gets a lot of flack for 2 reasons. It introduces a twist that people hate, and it has a winner whose game people don't like. Myself included, nothing against him, but in my opinion, he objectively played the worst gameplay of any winner. But this season has an awesome cast and some great drama and storylines. This is Survivor Edge of Extinction coming in at number 5.
Interesting, at number 5.
I mean, it's so much better than it gets credit for.
People no question.
Like, I honestly think Edge is overhated.
I do too.
Like, and we both said our show has an easy way of fixing Edge. Cut it off at the merge returning.
Yeah.
Even with it being how it is, how like the Edge is the jury and everything, I don't hate it the way most people do. Chris Underwood is the winner. No personal offense to him. He seems nice. That dampens it. Like, he's objectively the worst gameplay of any winner because he's the only winner that's gotten voted out.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
But it's such a good cast.
Yeah, can't agree more.
Rick provides drama. You've got Lesu. You've got War Dog, who's kind of like Walmart great value version of Tony in some aspects. Yeah. Like, it gets too much hate.
It does. Absolutely. Very good pick here at 5. Number 4, I'm going to go with a season that we talk about all the time. And that's one that we talk about every time we have a guest on, Survivor Guatemala.
See, I was thinking about this and if it actually was underrated, and I've come to the conclusion that we as a show talk about this season a lot more than the fan base in general does.
Yeah, absolutely. I think same kind of thing as you just mentioned with Edge. Guatemala, you have such a good cast. You have the 2 attorneys in Steph and Bobby John. Danny is a great winner who plays an amazing game that season. Judd, Gary, Amy, these are all big characters. Cindy.
Yeah.
And Rafe is just a strategic mastermind who really probably should have won the game if he made it one more day.
In your setting, like,
oh yeah,
we talk about China being the best season that leans into their setting and location. Guatemala is probably second.
I would say Guatemala is in the conversation with China.
I mean, you start off by this, like, the opening thing is, hey, hike 11 miles through the woods.
Yeah.
And then
that takes overnight. Like, they don't even spend the first night at their camp. They spend the first night on the side of a road in Guatemala.
And then one of the camps for the original tribes and the merged tribe is in Mayan ruins. Like, it's at amongst the ruins. It's at one of these pyramids.
It sure is. I've looked into where I can someday try to visit this camp.
Nice. Just don't eat
then
they give you, because then a storm will happen.
I mean, it might be fun to put to the test.
What a crazy storyline that was, by the way.
Yeah. So this was the Yasha tribe that lived in the Mayan ruins, the yellow one.
And the merged tribe, too.
Yeah. But Yasha is actually the name of the Mayan ruins that they lived in.
Oh, nice.
If people are wondering of the general area where this is, if you've ever heard of the Tikal Mayan ruins, which is like the biggest Mayan ruin in the country of Guatemala, it's maybe about 5 miles away from the main national park that's visited by thousands of people a year. Well, hundreds of thousands of people a year.
And so that's such a good pick. I love Guatemala for this list.
And yeah, you're totally right. Compared to, we talk about this season way more than the fan base. I think it's probably just because it's one of the few seasons where you and I disagree on who should have won. But even though we both think that there's a good case for the other person's player too. But
all the Survivor fan jury posts that pop up on my Facebook news feed every day, I very rarely see Guatemala mentioned.
Exactly, and that's where it
less than one.
I was between this season and another season that's not in a beach location for this spot, and I ended up settling on Guatemala. That one's going to come up in my honorable mention.
Also, Guatemala, one of the coolest rewards, the alligator-free swimming pool thing they put.
Yeah, that was great. Which also gives us the one birthday party that we see on Survivor.
Yeah, you have pre-merge one tribe coming to another tribe's beach on purpose this time. When they do it in Cook Islands, it was an accident, but
it might have been an accident for Cowboy, but he sure made himself out.
Yeah. I also have a non-beach location for number 4.
Okay.
This is a season that has plenty of players that get talked about. It's produced a few returnees, but it came after 2 seasons that I feel like it kind of lives in their shadow in a sense.
Okay.
But it's fantastic. It has a representative on Winners at War. And it, again, incredible location and storyline, early Survivor. And it gave us our first tribe swap. So we're going Survivor Africa here.
Nice. I thought about this one as well. It just got cut from my list, but great pick.
It gets talked about, but I also feel like it doesn't get talked about near as much as Borneo and Australian Outback.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. It does get talked about, but not nearly as enough. Those 2 seasons were just so big.
Yeah.
In terms of what they actually meant culturally, that Africa was kind of like the season where Survivor goes from being a massive hit to being a show that you know is going to run for the next 20 years. But still, yeah, probably the best locations, some of the best rewards, amazing, memorable cast when it comes to like Ethan, Lex, Tom, both Kims, T-Bird, Kelly Goldsmith.
Yeah.
Brandon and Frank on a reward together was one of the funniest things ever.
Yeah. Just so good. And like we said, it produces Ethan, who comes back 2 more times. Lex and Tom come back 1 more time. Like, it's a good cast. Like, and also not just Borneo and Australian Outback, but there's been a lot of push from the fan base and rise in popularity for Vesepia Towery lately, who wins season 4, Marquesa.
Yeah.
So even though Africa is way more popular than Marquesas, and throughout history has gotten talked about way more, I would argue lately Marquesas is getting more talk because of that, like, resurgence in Vesepia popularity.
Yeah, that's true.
I still think Africa is way more popular than Marquesas, but the Vesepia resurgence kind of might overtake.
I haven't seen Marquesas since the pandemic.
Do what?
I said I haven't seen Marquesas since the pandemic.
Same. But there's been, I mean, you've seen it. Facebook are full of Vesepia fans all of a sudden.
I think a lot of people thought she was going to be back on 50, and then she clearly indicated she wanted to be back on 50, which set it all off.
And Sean Rector was in the conversation, too.
Yeah, he was.
I still think Africa gets talked about more than Marquesas, but
Marquesas
has been a hot topic lately. So
yep. All right, so that has us both done 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Number 3 on my list, the third most underrated season of all time. And this is a season I just finished rewatching 48 hours ago. So it's fresh in my mind. Unfortunately, it has one really bad moment. But other than that, is just an amazing season, if you ask me. And that's Survivor Game Changers.
Yeah.
Sarah, one of the best strategic games of all time. Culpeper, one of the best physical games of all time. Troy's is just sitting on that final 3, wondering when Michaela has a question for him. Who, me? That was hilarious. So many memorable moments, from Suri getting across the balance beam to in the same challenge, Lucina being able to steal Michaela's secret advantage because she's not sitting out, but she's still paying attention to what's underneath the sit-out bench, whereas Michaela is just mad about not being selected. That was memorable. Sarah
trying to play Sarah's advantage and being
told,
oh, you can't do that.
Sarah trying to play Sarah's advantage that Sarah then capitalized in order to get off of, or that was her other advantage. So yeah, you're right about that one. Sarah capitalizing off Sierra trying to make a deal with her and saying, I have this advantage and I can will it to someone if I get voted out. And that instantly puts Sarah into plotting Sierra's downfall while not playing it. Like, amazing gameplay.
So good.
And then, I mean, I have to bring it up while we're here, even though it's probably the moment that makes the season not be known as a good season. The way Zeke was to handle the situation that was presented to him and dealt with it so well and used it as a moment to really educate mainstream America on what life is like as a transgendered person was really influential to watch, even if it should have never happened.
Yeah. He handled that incredibly well.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like we can't talk about Game Changers without referencing the other, like, there's a human moment everyone hates from this season. Then there's a gameplay / advantage moment everyone hates from this season. We can't.
Oh, there's so many moments I never even touched.
Oh, yeah, we can't not reference Cerie's exit, though.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That sucks.
That sucked. But at the same time, going out with 5 out of 6 people having immunity is so historic. That'll never happen again. And then some other things. Let's just go back to the pre-merge while we're still here. Sandra eating all of the sugar and blaming it on Michaela. That's hilarious.
Sam wanting to kill a baby goat or a mom goat that's baby was nearby, and Malcolm having to talk her out of that.
That is memorable. Tony running into the jungle the second that they land on the beach. I'm going to go look for an idol. Bye, guys. Like, Tony was not on the season for more than 1 episode, but he made his mark.
2. He was second boot.
Yeah, but it was the same episode.
Oh, was it?
The first episode was 2 boots.
I forgot.
Sierra and Tony. Well, I just watched it all this week, so.
Dude, Game Changers Tony is so funny and so chaotic.
Yeah.
Just fantastic.
If we ever get Tony again, that's probably the one we're going to get, based on that Tony goes from win to chaotic to win to chaotic.
Did we not get chaotic with Australian versus the world?
That's true.
Shoe idol?
Yeah.
My shoe is an idol. I'm going to wear it on my neck.
And we got a bit of chaos from Tony on the traders as well.
Yeah, I hate that they sent him home so early.
Yeah.
And that was based off of, like, pre-reputation, too. That's why that sucks.
I mean, at this point, he can't avoid it.
He can't. I just wish he was on my TV longer.
Yeah, same.
So my number 3 is
Numero tres.
It's a popular theme, but it's the second season of this theme.
I think I know what this is.
The first season of this theme is very well loved, had awesome moments, and fan favorite players returning. This season with this theme was a bunch of new heard of.
You said a lot of players returning, so now I'm changing it to another theme. This has got to be some 26.
So was 26 your original guess?
No, I thought you were going Korang here.
No.
Okay.
So I'll reveal it in a second. The first season with this twist, though, featured a lot of returning players people loved. The second season of this twist was a newbie season. So it kind of, I have it as, it has some fan favorite players. I consider it underrated because it lives in the shadow of 27.
Okay.
Blood versus Water 2.
Yes.
Swan Delster, season 29.
That's a good one.
It gives us Natalie and it gives us Keith. But when people think of Blood versus Water seasons, they always think of the other one first.
They think of, because Tyson and Sierra.
Because Tyson and Sierra, and people love Tina.
Yeah.
And Laura Moret's immunity run on Redemption Island.
Mm-hmm.
But season 29 is incredible. Of course, we get Natalie, we get Keith. But we also get John and Jacqueline have a fun storyline.
Yeah.
We get Jeremy. Well, Jeremy's one of the fan favorites, but you look at underrated characters.
Yeah.
We get a little bit of Val. We unfortunately get John Rocker, but you know, it's fun to have someone to root against.
We get Reed, who turns in to be the villain of the season, but is very memorable.
Yeah, but people, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say villain. A lot of people, well, you can like a villain. A lot of people like his jury.
People like Russell. People like Tony. People like Perv. People like Sarah. People like Rob.
True.
They're still villains.
But Reed doesn't really become that until his jury speech, though.
Fair.
But yeah, San Juan del Sur, it's incredible.
Reed was just trying to pull an inner Corinne, but he's still more tame than Corinne will ever be.
No, Corinne takes it too far, I feel like.
Yeah.
Corinne was trying too hard to be Sue Hawk and went off the deep end with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, San Juan del Sur is my number 3.
Good pick. Number 2 is one that we're talking about potentially recording on sometime soon, after 50 for me. One that has a very memorable cast, including one player that I reference a lot of, who I've both chatted with on Twitter back in the day and also met in real life, and that's Vanuatu.
That's my number 2 also.
Perfect.
Well, so
we can just open it up.
It's so good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Amy is a legendary character and a good strategist. Eliza is just entertaining the whole time. She's the one that I've met in real life. Amazing player to get to know, to chat with.
Fan account, I've texted with Julie a little bit. She's awesome in the season.
Yeah, Julie is very memorable.
Not to mention, Chris Daugherty might have my favorite storyline of a winner.
Yeah, good point.
Final 7, you're the only guy outnumbered 6-1 by women.
Yep.
And you end up winning. Just fantastic story from him there.
Yeah, that is a fantastic story.
He gets off to a rough start, too.
He does. And some memorable players that go out earlier, too. Rory was memorable. John Kay was memorable. Bubba was memorable.
Yeah. Leanne.
Yeah, Leanne. Very good.
So I think she had a lot of potential had she gone a bit deeper.
Yeah. And also, I just love the fact, too, that the Yasu alliance here has stayed so close. Like, Leanne and Amy and Eliza are all still good friends to this day.
Nice. And also that introduction with the natives.
And I'm missing Julia's obviously there as well with those four. I knew I was missing someone.
Yeah. But the opening ceremonies with the natives is just
that was amazing.
Yeah.
And Brady climbing the pole to get a rock, which you think is like a reward, and it turns out to be nothing.
I love that that we have the same number two. That's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
So, number one most underrated season.
Well, let's do honorable mentions first.
You're right. I forgot about honorable mentions.
Do you want me to start with mine?
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier that I had one other non-beach season that I was like, this one or Guatemala. My first honorable mention is going to a season that people talked a lot about back in the day, but doesn't really get talked about at all that much now, other than when its top player decides he's going to go to a castle in Scotland for a couple days and doesn't last long. But this is Survivor Amazon.
Man, that made me sad.
Yeah, same. But no, Amazon is, in my mind, this is the season where I really started to see Survivor as more than as like growing up. Keep in mind that I know you said you started watching in Ghost Island, right?
Yeah.
And then went back. So I started watching right from the beginning. But this is the season that I first started to actually understand what the point of this game was. And there's two reasons behind that. One is the first few seasons I was just young enough to go, oh, it's Australia, cool. And didn't really know what was going on. But also, Rob's gameplay really opens up how you see the game being played.
Yeah.
And I think Rob it's like I always say, it kind of goes in a sequence of 5 seasons, really. You had to have Boston Rob deceive Kathy and Marquesas in order to give Brian the license to do what he did to win Thailand, in order to give Sesternino the license to change back and forth his alliance week in and week out between working with Christy and Bush one week and Jenna and Heidi the next, to give Fairplay the license to lie about his grandma, to give full circle back to Boston Rob the license to screw Lex and not win the game, but him and Amber basically won the game together.
Yeah.
But with Rob Sesternino in this game, it's really where Survivor evolves from a game of the strategy is make your alliances on day one and stick with them, to now the strategy is survive tonight's tribal council and tomorrow is whatever tomorrow brings.
Yeah.
And then to get off Rob C, there's still some memorable characters that obviously deserve a mention here elsewhere. Jenna, I think, is still the youngest female winner at 21.
I think so.
She did not get enough respect for that win as she deserved. Heidi was a memorable player that was Jenna's ally, ended up being married to Cole Hamels for a while. Matthew was obviously a memorable player with his outdoor skills, but like a guy just sitting, sharpening the machete and not talking to anyone in the middle of the Amazon jungle, that has got to freak you out. Butch lighting a forest fire in the Amazon that Jair Bolsonaro would be proud of.
Gosh dang it.
What else? Alex going on reward after the weapons challenge. He was a memorable player. The candy bar that was found near Tree Mail, I still feel, who was that? Janine? I still feel bad for her. Like, to be voted out on a Kel-esque accusation of cheating when in reality it's kind of come out from what I've heard that they think a cameraman probably dropped a wrapper.
Yeah, that has to have been what happened.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great season overall that doesn't get talked about as much. I should go back and watch it at some point.
Yeah. Before I do my first honorable mention, how many do you have, by the way?
2.
Okay. Before I
You?
do my first honorable mention, I want
How many do you have?
2.
Okay.
I want to go back to Vanuatu for a second because
Sure.
looking at my notes and just some of my prep, there is something we didn't mention.
Oh, go ahead.
This is our second season that gives us the men versus women tribe split dynamic.
There is.
But the unexpected part, both for the players and the viewers, is that pre-merge, the women dominate the challenges.
Yeah.
That little unexpected part there, that little girl power moment, if you will, is awesome.
It is.
And it's
in Amazon, they do that too, and it's pretty split.
Yeah. Also, the gameplay is way more cutthroat in that season than it gets credit for.
Yeah. They did a good job in both the men versus women seasons to make sure they were picking challenges that were equal opportunity to everybody.
And with Amazon, it kind of was even. But Vanuatu, the women dominated. That's why we end up at a 6-1.
The guys' tribe in Vanuatu is just a mess.
Not as bad as the guys' tribe in our third men versus women season.
Yeah.
By the way, I actually, this is another Survivor hot take, I don't know. The one world concept where we have 2 separate tribes living on one beach, I like that. That was a fun way to start a season.
It was a fun way to start a season. You know what I would have really liked to see with this?
Yeah.
One world for winners at war.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
But, and One World is not one of my honorable mentions. It's
no, not for me either.
Not even close. I like Kim. I don't rank it very high at all. I like that as a twist.
I like Kim. Kat is memorable. Troyzan is memorable. That's about it.
Monica comes back.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you're going to do One World, don't put a swap in there and send one of the swap tribes to a new beach. Just have it be a swapless season and go One World into the merge.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Them doing a tribe swap and having a second beach kind of messed with the theme.
It did.
But going into my first honorable, I just didn't want to forget to mention the men versus women dynamic of Vanuatu.
Yeah.
But my first honorable mention season, our audience knows I like a winner with a good storyline. We all do.
Yeah.
And this is, the cast and season as a whole are kind of iffy, but the winner is super interesting. The way she wins is awesome. This is a season that I'm going to say this, and Kevin, if you're listening, you'll probably know what this is. Because 1 week you got sick all of a sudden. So last minute I texted Kevin, let's record. We drafted seasons, and there's a season that I'm putting as
I remember this.
Underrated because of the winner and because of her storyline. Kevin killed me for taking it where I did, and I probably took it way too high. But South Pacific is a bit underrated.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not top 5, but it's worth mentioning.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I never really thought of this season, but that's a great pick. Sophia certainly plays an amazing game. And the neat thing is that Sophie is able to just completely do a 180 in this game and use Coach's strengths against him.
Yeah.
And that's how she wins the whole thing. So, yeah, great winner story there.
What I love this is, especially with the new era, but it's even new school of the old era, from 27 forward, and you mentioned Sierra Easton with Blood versus Water earlier. I kind of credit her for this. There is this need to have these big moves in this resume, and we see her hitting that a lot on Cambodia.
Yeah.
But Sophie wins because her big move is not making a big move.
That's right.
Clients, Albert, Coach, they were getting antsy to do something and flip on the alliance or change something up for a while. Sophie worked to keep them together and not make a big keep them from making bigger moves because that group staying together was best for her game. It's the only winner I can point to and say you won by not making the big move.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You're right. It is.
I drafted it way too high, but, it's underrated. Honorable mention.
Yeah, great pick. My second honorable mention is I thought at first I had to think a second when you said the third men versus women season and you were talking about One World because this one is kind of a men versus women season, but it also splits it into 4 tribes. I'm going to go with Survivor Exile Island.
I kind of forgot about that. Maybe that counts.
I mean, it doesn't really matter whether it counts or not, but
yeah.
I thought this was one. The reason I put it as an honorable mention instead of on my list, frankly, I think it's better than some of the ones I did put on my list, is because I questioned in my mind, is this really an honorable mention or is this a good season? I kind of get mixed views on it. So I'm like, this is just a safe place to put it. I mean, Iris and Terry's rivalry is always going to be memorable. Danielle beating both of them at Final 3. I've seen some people say that's not fair. Of course it's fair. There was a challenge that was pre-selected, and Danielle was good at it. She won.
Yeah, that was also my second one, by the way.
Oh, nice. So yeah, go ahead if there's anything you want to throw in.
It's a better season than some of the ones on my list, probably. But I also struggle to call it underrated.
Yeah.
It's Cirie's first season.
Yeah.
It's got Terry, who's very well known. And when you look at people talk about top, favorite alliances, this Kasaya alliance gets mentioned a lot because of how dysfunctional and chaotic they were.
I mean, what's there not to remember about Shane in this game?
There's Blackberry, of course.
Yeah. If you want this chair, I'll go get another one. It's just ridiculous.
Saying someone has a shitty apartment and her defending her apartment and his response being, well, of course I don't know that. How would I know that?
Yeah.
Say it, Shane.
Exactly.
This is honorable mention to me because I don't feel like it's truly underrated. People talk about this season all the time.
The only thing I guess that we can be thankful for from some dark moments later in the game is that we'll never have a contestant be able to ask another contestant to inspect the genitalia ever again. Poor Suri.
Yeah.
That's what medical is for, Shane Powers, not Suri. But
we got that shitty apartment comment from Shane. We got him asking Suri to examine him and the answer being diaper rash.
Yeah.
If rumors I've heard people talk about and read online are true, the craziest Shane moment didn't even make the
Yeah. I've heard that as well.
I don't know if we should say it or not, but
I wanted to not get demonetized or not demonetized. We don't monetize in the first place, but not to get taken off of YouTube. But the audience can Google it.
Yeah, I don't know what to Google. Shane Powers Survivor rumor. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You'll find it.
But don't actually do this. I don't want him to be mad at us, but I kind of want to see someone send him a cameo and ask if it's true or not.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I feel like he'd answer it, honestly.
The one thing I hated in this season was Bruce getting medically evacuated. He was such a great character before.
Homie made a Zen garden at camp. That's so
Yeah, it was. Also, Bruce was like the better version of Ty that wasn't looking for 50 million idols because there was only one idol and it was on Exile Island and he had one chance to find it and didn't get anywhere close.
Also, Bob Dog getting trashed in the outhouse that one night.
Yeah. With all the wine. That was great.
And getting in trouble because he got drank enough of the group's wine to get drunk off of it and passed out in the outhouse.
And the camp totally flooding that day, so they have no fires, so Bruce decides he's going to fillet the fish that they want and make sashimi instead.
Yeah.
That's
not go over well.
No. Overall, this was just a great season. I think it's a little too good to be in underrated.
I almost didn't even put it on my honorable mentions, honestly. I feel like putting
But I also noticed that not that many people talk about it anymore, so I thought it was worth a discussion here.
So, to recap, my number 5 is Edge of Extinction. What was yours?
Redemption Island.
My number 4 was Africa. Yours was Game Changers, right?
Guatemala.
Okay. So Game Changers was your 3.
Yeah.
Mine was San Juan del Sur. The star season of the episode so far, we both had Vanuatu at 2 somehow, and ranted and raved about that. Honorable mentions. Brett has Amazon and Panama. I have South Pacific and Panama. Barely included Panama on that because it's not really underrated. People love it.
Yeah.
Number 1 most underrated season, according to Brett Parnell, is...
When we started this podcast, was I ever trying to have a discussion, or was I just going, that's right?
Yeah.
Number 1 underrated season to me is Survivor Edge of Extinction.
Interesting.
So that's why I was trying to let you say your piece without me talking too much. I didn't want to give it away that early on.
Go ahead and say yours, because my number 1 is also one that was on your list.
Oh, cool. The number 1 thing I think that defines a good season from a bad season, a great cast. And in this season, the twist sucked. But yeah, fine. In my mind, it sucked. But at the same time, you're talking Victoria Beaumont, Rick Devens, Lauren O'Connell, Gavin, Aurora, Kelly as a attorney, Ron Clark, who people knew from Oprah, War Dog, like you said, Walmart, great value version of Coney, David Wright, Victoria blindsiding Aubrey will obviously always be something I'll remember. Victoria is my favorite player that season. I think you knew that, but
Kelly is 1 for me, and Lauren is 2. So.
Nice. Julie deciding, not knowing how to play the game, but therefore having the biggest impact on the game. When Lauren says, Rick just came back to the game, we should just vote him out and keep going with Survivor the way we were. He lost. And Julie says, no, that wouldn't be fair. And guess what? She ends up winning that fight, even though it made no sense.
Yeah, and she got 3rd place out of it.
She does. I think one of the things that people are always going to remember is when we talk about tribal analogies, pilots and passengers. That's become like a quote of the 30s.
All the freaking metaphors and analogies of this season.
Yeah.
But we did... The metaphors and analogies were way too much. But I
just want to know when we get to 50. They were both newscasters in the same state. Do Rick Devens and Savannah Louie know each other outside of this game? That's what I'm excited to find out.
I don't know. But one thing we did get out of all the analogies, and I don't remember who it was, someone says the quote, Rick, you're such a passenger.
Yeah.
Like, that's just great with no context.
I forget who says that too, but
I don't know, but they had a sassy tone of voice when they said it.
Another one I need to watch after 50.
Yeah. My number 1 is a season that when we talked about it on your list, I said I wasn't sure whether to put it on here or not because I feel like it gets talked about a good amount.
So you weren't sure if we should put it on, but it's number 1.
Then I realized every time I hear this season talked about at length, it's on the same show. We talk about this season way more than the rest of the fan base. The rest of the Survivor fan base needs to catch on to how good and how underrated Survivor Guatemala is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going back and forth here between Guatemala and Vanuatu, and I'm happy with Guatemala because us both having Vanuatu at the same number is fantastic.
That was.
Look, I mean, Guatemala is so underrated. And just to add a bit, because we talked about it earlier, Brian Corridan and his bait Blake strategy is fantastic.
Yeah.
the ceremonial chicken that the locals say don't eat this, it's sacred, and some people eat it and some don't, and then a storm hits camp, and like we're afraid that we're getting hit with a storm because 3 or whatever people ate a chicken. It's
Great.
It's so underrated.
Danny recognizing Gary from the NFL, even though he was just a backup quarterback, and thought he could play it off as I've never been in football beyond NCAA.
What are you talking about? That was just the humble landscaper, Gary.
Yeah, exactly. Another Gary moment.
I hope you all get bit by crocs on his way out.
I saw a fun trivia question the other day on one of those packages that they sent, CBS sent to like people like Phil and Tegwith and a few other podcasters in advance of season 50.
Yeah.
And one of the trivia questions in it said who found the first immunity idol, and it's Gary, not Terry from Panama, like I think a lot of people remember.
Wait, hold on a sec. Yeah, you're right. Guatemala's first. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Terry did find one, but that was the next season.
That was the next season. That was the first super idol.
What?
That was the first super idol, Terry's.
Yeah, we got one in 12 and 13, and then Probst realized they suck and they're overpowered, and we didn't see it again until like
20. Until he gave it to Tony.
Yeah. And so, trying to think. Oh, also Guatemala, Lydia Morales doing the like pancake flip dance at some point.
Yeah.
Just fantastic.
Before we do a line blindside first boot, I think we got to make one more dual honorable mention.
Yeah.
All-Stars is an underrated season, isn't it?
It gets overhated because it's got this dark cloud that is Jenna's exit and Sue's exit, which are both terrible.
Yeah.
And like those shouldn't go unmentioned. It's so fun outside of that though.
Oh yeah. Agreed. You have the Shapiro Alliance, including Rupert and Jenna Lewis. And I saw something fun. I wanted to bring it up on this podcast. This is why I decided to throw this extra honorable mention in, because you and I talk about All-Stars again, probably more than most people. It's, as I've said, it's the season I've seen the most. But what I saw the other day was in advance of 50, they were asking the players, I guess now we did find out that they've told the players what in the hands of the fans means and given them the ideas of what we voted on last year. It looks like that was communicated to the 24 players at Ponderosa before the marooning, based on this video. What I saw was interesting is that Jenna said, I would love to have first fire making challenge because in a final 3 I would have won. And in my mind said, no, Jenna, you don't want first fire making because if it was final 3, you would have beat both Rob and Amber. In contrast, Rupert could have easily won if there was first fire making.
Oh my gosh, we could live in a world where Rupert's a winner.
Rupert would have won Survivor All-Stars by winning a fire making challenge. And then everyone from Mogo Mogo is like, the fans love Rupert. Let's just let him win for doing nothing.
Oh my gosh, we could live in a world where Rupert was a winner. That's wild to think about.
Yep, it almost happened.
That's crazy.
I mean, look at the way that Rupert went head-to-head with Perv in the Heroes versus Villains endurance challenges. If Rupert doesn't get voted out at 4, he's just as easily as Rob wins final immunity and wins the game.
Yeah. Amber would have deserved it over him game-wise. But
oh, yeah.
Everyone hated her and Rob both, so.
That's right.
Okay, so, a line blindside first boot. Do you have one or do you want me to go?
I can go with that. I'm going to give you my 3 favorite players from... Oh, I was going to say complete newbie seasons on my list, but then I realized Edge isn't a complete newbie season. So fine, I'm just going to give you my 3 favorite players from 3 seasons on my list. So your options are Victoria Beaumont, Eliza Orleans, and Denny Boatwright.
See, this is interesting. I normally first boot winners when there's only one.
Yeah.
But blindsiding Eliza is a bad idea based on her jury speech from Vanuatu. The problem is I just don't think the two of us would mesh well personality-wise to align. I don't know that we would work together well for whatever reason. That's just gut feeling I have.
Yeah.
So I'm going to blindside Danny and first boot her because I can't blindside or align with her. And I'm going to align with Victoria, which means I probably lose at the end.
Yeah.
But she plays a strategic-based game and I play social. So maybe I can pull it out.
That makes sense. I am going to take a card that I don't always take out of Bruce's playbook and first boot the winner.
Catching on!
So I am going to first boot Denny here. I'm going to blindside Victoria. I think she would be a good juror who would respect the best game. And I'm going to align with Eliza, who kind of a contrasting position from what you stated. She and I have met in real life, and I think we would make a good alliance.
Yeah.
And we talk on Instagram all the time, either about college basketball, political campaign strategy, or Taylor Swift.
Makes sense. I love that.
3 things we have in common.
I love that for you. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I'm giving you one player each from my top 3 underrated seasons.
Before you go, I'm just going to clarify for the audience in case they don't know. You all know probably from remarks I've made with Kevin Oliver on this podcast or on Roundtable Talk that in football I am a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, but in basketball I cheer for Eliza's alma mater, which is the University of Syracuse.
Yeah.
Hence why she and I will exchange tweets during March Madness here and there.
So I am giving you one player each from the top 3 seasons on my list.
Okay.
But unlike you, I'm not necessarily going with my favorite player each season. I'm kind of keeping this underrated theme.
Oh, cool.
In that I'm going with players that don't get talked about as much from these seasons.
I like it.
So, from Guatemala, the zoologist, zookeeper, something like that. Something at a zoo, which is awesome. I love zoos. You're getting Cindy Hall.
Nice.
From Vanuatu, you're getting someone I mentioned when we talked about it, and that's Leanne Slabby.
Nice.
And my 3rd season was San Juan del Sur, and I'm throwing you a curveball here. You're getting someone that also doesn't get talked about as much from this season, and you're getting one of the brothers, and you're getting Alec Christie.
Interesting.
So, Cindy Hall, Leanne Slabby Beer, and Alec Christie.
I am going to align with Cindy and hope that she took cars away from 4 members of the jury, which would constitute a majority vote on that.
That was so stupid.
Yeah.
They all would have made everyone mad at her for taking that car and not giving it up so they could have one. Would have made that same choice.
Yeah, absolutely. It was stupid, but I agree with you that I wouldn't be bitter with her if I was playing. I also don't have a driver's license, so I couldn't give a flying crap. Yeah. But if I was not mad at her for doing it, but it would instantly make me want to sit next to her.
Yeah.
From a strategy point of view, I'm going to blindside Leanne. I think it would be interesting to have her on the jury. We didn't get to see a lot of Leanne. It fits with your theme, but she seemed like a player who was very knowledgeable about the game while she was in it, except for the bizarre move that she made of smuggling chicken wings back to camp, but only for half the merge tribe.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. And that's going to lead me to first boot Alec, who you could just kind of tell that both him and his brother were a little bit of a disturbance at camp. And if you've got to first boot somebody, any reason, no matter how small it is, to get the target off of you is probably a good move.
Yeah.
And if somebody is spitting all over the camp, that's a good reason that it's time for them to go.
Was that him? I thought that was Wes.
It was all of them. As Missy said, all the boys are acting like a frat house in here.
True. I'm first booting Alec also. Nice. I just don't know that aligning with him is a move that can get me to the end.
That's fair.
I don't know if it's him or his brother, but one of them had the genius idea when they found something they had lost. They had lost their flint and negotiated to get one from Jeff. Had the bright idea to come to a challenge and say, "Hey, Jeff, we found the other one. Can we give it back and get the thing we gave you back?"
That was funny.
I don't know which brother that was, but the fact that I could see either of them doing that scares me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, when whichever brother it was brought that up, I think it was Natalie just sitting there like, "I am not a part of this."
Yeah, it was when they lost the flint.
They lost the flint, and then they found it after they got a new one, and they tried to give it back to get Rice back.
Oh, what a mess.
Also, the other tribe, by the way, hits a swap and realized the people that had been on that beach before them were way over-consuming rice, and they had to get more rice, too, at a hefty price.
Yeah, absolutely. I always wonder about San Juan del Sur. Who was the final team added in if Adam was able to play, wouldn't have been there?
I don't know.
Because I don't know how far they made it in casting, like if they were on the show and then Adam's mom wasn't medically able to play, or if they just auditioned. But if Adam and his mother got all the way to the end and were effectively cast before she was hospitalized, that could have shaken up the whole season.
Yeah.
But we'll never know. But Adam Klein is a Survivor winner, so I'm sure it all worked out, at least game-wise, to the best for him.
Yeah. So I'm first booting Alec, just because I don't trust that I can get to the end with him. Maybe I'm wrong. That's not a shot at you, Alec, because of course you're listening to us. Everyone listens to us. I'm going to blindside Cindy here, because if there's not a car reward, she seems incredibly likable. And she seems really smart, and I don't know that I can beat her. And I'm going to align with Leanne, and I think we could get to the end, because she goes early in Vanuatu, but I think we see a lot of potential in her. I think we see some interesting gameplay.
Yeah, great pick.
I think had she made it another round or two, we really could have seen her spread her wings and go deep. I think there's
absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
So this was really fun. We'll have social content for you guys this week with a line blindside first boot recap.
I will send you the graphics right after we get off of here.
Send me your list and I'll make them.
Sounds good.
And then check out all the Reality Realm stuff, Pit Stop Pals, Roundtable Talk. Did New Generation Challengers ever make your big wrap-up episode for 41?
No. Other things came up in life, but I'm going to make a shout out because I know it's public. My co-host, Titi Fernandez, is engaged.
Nice.
So congratulations to her and to her fiance. I guess New Generation Challengers will be back when we have a new season, but she's been busy booking wedding venues.
Yeah.
And also she was traveling out to Colorado. So fun.
Yeah. And so, with that being said, everyone grab your torches and head back to camp. Bye, guys.
Bye.